is that every child coming in had some form of malnutrition. And so in 2006, they looked to see how could they address this with a local solution. And that solution was what they called Nurimamba, which is a ready-to-use therapeutic food based on peanuts which are readily available in the country. So they've been producing that since about 2006 in a small one-room building at their headquarters in Conj in the Central Plateau. And they've been doing a wonderful job doing that, and they've been able to serve about 8,000 children with that product. So they've been doing that since 2006. So we, AVID and the AVID Fund have been working in Haiti for quite some years now, and that more, I would say, on the philanthropic side, product donations. We certainly responded during the earthquake. We've been working with Partners in Health, providing product donations for a few years. And we saw this really, well, actually right before the earthquake, in December of 2009, we had a group, including my boss, Kathy Pickus, go with a group of engineers, commercial colleagues, who went down to Haiti to meet with Partners in Health and kind of take a look at their current operations to sort of see, is there something that we might be able to do collectively that would being able to leverage sort of the resources, the expertise of both, to really be able to do something special. And then, of course, when the earthquake hit, and then we realized, we've got to do something fast. This really can't wait. So, we said we don't have all the answers right now. You guys are an amazing partner. We know that you've been on the ground for so many years. You know the people. You have the distribution system, and the respect of the communities. Let's see, whether we can really do this, what we want to do. And of course, that very risky. We had never done anything like this. We've never worked in Haiti, and Partners in Health is certainly not a manufacturing company. They're not a nutrition company. So it was really something new that we wanted to. But nobody better to do something like this than with Partners in Health. I just want to say there's been a lot of skeptics, and again, it is a challenge. Anything like this is going to be a challenge, but we're moving forward with it. So this is a photo of the new Nurimamba production facility in the Central Plateau, and this is sort of the culmination of a $6.5 million investment from the AVID Fund. Just opened. It was finished in March of this year, and it opened in June, and now is staffed with 21 local Haitians. State-of-the-art labs that are able, to do all the on-site testing for it. And it's honestly the objective here is it's sort of the symbol, but the objective of creating a sustainable solution to malnutrition, leveraging all of the resources that both of us have to be able to invest into this facility. So so it's phenomenal. I mean, it's really a phenomenal thing, and it's right near their hospital, which really then sort of creates that just right in the Central Plateau, one of the poorest regions of Haiti, to sort of build sort of that area where there's just economic growth and development is possible. One of the things that was really important to the partnership, to Partners in Health, is to be able to create jobs locally. And I think, Jeff, you knew there were a lot of people who sort of said, you're not going to be able to find that expertise locally. It's just not there. You won't be able to, because there are facilities like this, you're not going to find people who are going to have that high technical expertise to be able to run the equipment or to manage a facility. And again, that Partners in Health, that's their area of expertise. They're one of the largest employers in the country as well. They were able to identify and bring over some of the staff that had been working in the Nurimamba facility previously. So there was a lot of expertise that was there, and then we were able to bring in additional expertise. And then we have our staff. So we've brought in sort of day one in the design and of the facility. We were able to bring in our experts. So that's on the right is one of our Avid engineers, and so he spent a lot of time working with the team. And there was a 6 week intensive training course that happened between June and then finished in the end of July, where we had people on site to all different types of experts who would be needed to be able to run on their own a facility. And on the bottom we have the lab, one of our microbiology experts, and the quality assurance technical staff that was hired as well. So moving from a small facility using very small pieces of equipment, and then moving from there to this large 18,000 square foot facility with different type of equipment, very similar but just to a much larger scale. We provided a lot of guidance and training, both on the process to be able to now train the staff on a new type of equipment, but also on the product development. So Nurimamba, of course, an RETF, so there is a gold standard, so you can't really mess around too much with the recipe itself. But they were able to, they worked with the equipment even before the facility had opened, really to make sure that when they brought all of the equipment on site in Haiti, where you don't have your spare parts, where you don't have an electrician or somebody else who can just run over and fix something very quickly, they were able to, they were working on perfecting that, getting all of the parts all sort of set up so that when it did get put into the new facility, it would be ready to go. The Nurimamba slightly tweaked to work with the process. But then also the other piece about this project is the sustainability, which is the peanut butter, which uses the same equipment and basically the same ingredients. So Nurimamba, medical product, never going to be sold, distributed only to the patients within Partners in Health's catchment area in their clinics. Peanut butter being able to then be sold, that then would be able to sustain the free distribution of Nurimamba. So we were able to work with them, with Partners in Health on both of those aspects. And then the other piece is we realized is that peanut supply was going to be a challenge because there never seemed to be quite enough in the first place. Now, if you're going to be ramping up, this new production facility can actually has a capacity of about 4 times what they're currently making. So that means you need peanuts. And so we realized that early. Partners in Health have been working with farmers in their area for a few years. So we then said, let's leverage that. Let's bring in another partner that would be able to sort of take it to the next level. So we worked with TechnoServe to sort of create this pilot, 1-year pilot, to really understand what is the peanut industry right now, which we realized really didn't exist. There were thousands and thousands of farmers that were harvesting peanuts, but very, very small amounts. Quality was not good. There was really no distribution system for it. So no real incentive to do it. A lot of money lost down the value chain. So their TechnoServe has been working with now 300 farmers just this year, 300 farmers, and they've already found great success with that. And TechnoServe is now looking to roll it out, do a 5-year rollout, which would then become more of a business. So it's no longer is just a philanthropic endeavor, but it's really something that is going to make a huge difference in the agriculture and the development of the farmers in that region. So as I said, they're in full production right now. They've made the first product came off the line in July, And they've really just sort of taken off. They've made over 8,000 kilograms worth of product, and the first product was delivered in of August this year, so it was delivered to clinics, and so that will continue to go forward. So yes, challenges. There's been a significant amount of challenges with this project. Again, it's new to us, new to everyone. But certainly, if we look at how do we measure the success of this partnership so far, and we look at the fact that so far, in just the beginning stages, this will certainly, the production will certainly expand significantly over the next few years. Now, once they get used to things, they've hired, there's 21, it's a staff of 21. They've been able to, we've been able to build this facility. Again, nobody thought in the middle of nowhere would you be able to create a facility like that. Able to create that facility. It's treating patients, and that's really the biggest goal of everything was to treat patients. So I have a video, but I don't know if we have time. If you want to have like a 3-minute video. You sure? Okay. This is just a video that we've got on the partnership.
When we give a donation, nobody is impacted economically. But when we work with organizations like Partners in Health and work with them to make this product, it's going to have a ripple effect throughout this country.
There are kids dying of malnutrition that shouldn't be dying of malnutrition. We've been making our own Nuri Mamba, which is a ready-to-use therapeutic food, at Partners in Health for several years. It's a simple recipe, and it's amazing. Between the 6 and 8 week treatment, kids go from the brink of death to being a normal child once again. The need for more Nuri Mamba and higher quality Nuri Mamba became a priority for Partners in Health after the earthquake. And so we've been constructing this new Nuri Mamba production facility, the likes of which we've never seen in the Central Plateau. And who better to work with than a company like Abbott, who can bring technical expertise in nutrition and manufacturing.
This facility will enable them to make other products, a fortified peanut butter paste that they can sell to generate incomes to offset the expense of making Nuri Mamba. We are pulling every aspect of our expertise as a nutrition manufacturer. Everything from how we source and how we manufacture, how we check for quality, and we're applying it to this endeavor.
Bon, parce que nous-mêmes, nous avons fait des chômages. Et les grandes familles comme ça, si il y a plusieurs familles pour payer, il y a un programme en avant.
Peanuts make up a large portion of Nuri Mamba. Peanuts which are grown locally here in the Central Plateau.
Sustainably speaking, what we want to do is get the peanut sector on its feet in terms of quality, in terms of price, so that it is competitive not only in the country but abroad as well. So we're going to work with these farmers, give them trainings to help them be as productive as possible. I think it's going to increase their incomes by approximately 400%.
Mais c'est avec cultivateur, pistache là en particulier, il y a des nouveaux types de l'école pour la mobilité.
We're talking about economic impact for farmers, better nutritional results for severely malnourished kids, but also we're talking about more job opportunities in a manufacturing field, something that hasn't existed in the Central Plateau previously.
This model that we are developing in partnership with Partners in Health is the transformation that needs to take place in Haiti so that it can go from dependency on aid to really in control of its long-term future.
We have a safe and effective tool to treat malnutrition. This will have a huge impact for malnourished kids and their families. And to see fewer and fewer kids at our hospitals is exciting for everyone here.
Thank you.
tell them we're partnering with you in India, and it's been very successful. So it's at the country level, but it's been really great.
So the Rotary is part of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. It was formed in 1988 when the World Health Assembly passed a resolution to eradicate polio. Polio is a viral disease that impacts children mainly under the age of 5 and can cause lifelong paralysis. There is no cure for polio. There is only prevention for polio, and it is the oral polio vaccine or the inactivated polio vaccine. We also work with the World Health Organization, UNICEF, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the governments of the world, because we need to be partnering with the governments of the world, one, for the donor funds that help fund the initiative, and also with the polio-affected and high-risk countries that actually implement the immunization activities. And more recently, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has Rotary made polio eradication their top priority. So where is polio left in the world? When in 1988, there were some 350,000 cases of polio every year in over 125 countries. We are literally this close to eradicating polio. This year, there are 287 cases of polio globally. There are 3 countries that have never interrupted the transmission of the wild polio virus. That's Afghanistan, Nigeria, and Pakistan. And we're also experiencing a significant outbreak of polio in the Horn of Africa, Somalia, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Kenya, and those cases have been imported from Nigeria. So the polio endemic countries can actually export their virus, and it can begin to circulate in other countries that have low immunization rates. So we have polio the disease, and then we need to fund polio. There is a 5-year plan that has just been launched, 2013 to 2018, at the end of which the world should be certified polio-free, and I should say will be certified polio-free. The budget for that is $5.5 billion. At a global vaccine summit in Abu Dhabi in April of this year, donor governments, high net worth individuals, Rotary, other NGOs committed $4 billion to the effort. Of that, $700 million has been operationalized. We still need to operationalize $3.3 billion of that, and we're seeking additional funding of $1.5 billion. I know the numbers sound really high, but if you look at defense budgets and all other sorts of things, it's very, very, very small. And the return on investment for polio eradication, you can save $40 to $50 billion a year in daily cost production or productivity costs. So it is actually a very good investment in polio eradication. So I thought I was maybe a little more thinking about partnerships, and I'm going to show some examples of the partnerships that Rotary is involved in. The Global Polio Eradication Initiative is a very mature partnership, and very much like Jeff talked about many of those partnerships, there is no signed agreement with these organizations. We have grant agreements that get signed, but all the 5 partners do not have an MOU by which we work together. We just do it because we find that the partnership is very effective. Why partner with other organizations? Each organization brings a particular strength to the effort. Rotary, we raise funds, we raise awareness, we have boots on the ground in over 200 countries and geographic territories. The World Health Organization has the expertise, CDC has expertise, in the technical expertise in epidemiology, and UNICEF brings expertise in education and communication. But we're also partnering with new partners as there are changing requirements in the global effort to eradicate polio. We're reaching the last vestiges of the disease in some very, very challenging places, and the program is changing in order to sustain a polio-free world once we interrupt the transmission of the virus. So there's some special things that we have to do, and which we need partners, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Also, where polio still exists in the world, we're talking about hyper-local places. It's not, no country completely has polio. It's in very small geographic areas that have very specific cultural norms and understanding, and so we need to partner at that very hyper-local level
in order to move the program forward. And finally, we partner in order to amplify our voice. I mean, Rotary, we have 1.2 million members globally, 34,000 Rotary clubs, but in order to, the final push to end polio, we need other partners that can help amplify our voice. So what does the Global Polio Eradication Initiative look for in partners? It's resources, people, funding, technical expertise, and the ability of other organizations to raise awareness and to advocate for polio eradication. And the types of partners are governments, NGOs, corporate, media, communications, and celebrity. We have found the engagement of celebrities is something new that we're doing. We have a campaign called We're This Close to Eradicating Polio. And maybe our most famous celebrity is Archie Punjabi. Anybody know who Archie Punjabi is? Yes? Oh my gosh, nobody. She's the actress on The Good Wife, or Jackie Chan, or Jack Nicholas. It's on Perlman, a variety. That's funny. I have to tell my communications folks that maybe. I don't watch the show. I don't really know. So with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I'm just going to share some examples of what we do with our partners. We are in a funding relationship with the Gates Foundation. It's really quite an extraordinary relationship. This is the third of our agreements with the Gates Foundation. Our total contributions from the Gates Foundation will total over or close to $800 million to the Rotary Foundation. But at the same time, Rotary also has to raise funds, so we're in a matching situation, and our most recent one is a 2-to-1 match on up to $35 million a year that Rotary spends on polio eradication through 2018. So the value of that is going to be $525 million toward the funding requirement that I showed before. That's a massive amount of money. Here's where we're partnering with Abbott in India. You can see the Abbott logo up top. That was a relationship that was developed between Rotarians in India and Abbott to conduct health camps in the high-risk areas for polio, because communities have broader health needs than polio, and we're essentially demanding other things besides immunizing children against polio. And so the local Rotarians, I met Abbott folks at the corporate level, and we got together in India. I brought together Rotary India and Abbott India. And even though there's not a product, Abbott doesn't make the oral polio vaccine, there is a market for diabetes meds in India. And so that was the interest for Abbott, is to reach the population out in the community. So we identified communities where we would work together and conducted many health camps, and we're trying to replicate that. We've done something in Brazil, we're looking at other places as well. Another partnership that we have in Pakistan is with Coca-Cola. They do banners to help raise awareness about polio immunization campaigns, but also this was a really nice effort in one of the very high-risk areas in Pakistan, where they did garbage cleanup in the community, and Coca-Cola employees and Rotarians got together and went to this very poor area and cleaned up garbage for the day, again to show the community that we care more about them than just polio, but also for community health overall. And again, and one of our challenges, I would say, is how do you elevate, so these are very local partnerships that we're doing at the national level, how do you elevate that to the corporate level so that we can make it bigger and better, and we're still working on that. As I said before, we're having to work at very local levels in the places where polio is still affecting children. So this is a picture of an NGO that Rotary is partnering with in Pakistan, in a very high-risk area and a very dangerous area. It's a very violent area. Unfortunately, the head of this NGO was actually shot in front of the NGO because of the work that he was doing in girls' education and polio. So polio has become a highly politicized program. 22 health workers and security folks have been killed in Pakistan, targeted by the Taliban and other elements, and 9 were killed in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, for the same reasons. So what we're trying to do is have the face of polio in these communities be of the community and not reflect anything outside of the community, to make it more acceptable at that very high level. Another thing that we're partnering now with the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization is a strategy now in polio eradication. We use the oral polio vaccine excuse me, to interrupt the transmission of the virus. Now we're going to introduce a dose of the inactivated polio vaccine into the routine immunization systems of 124 countries, starting now. And it will be the largest introduction of a new vaccine ever undertaken. So we're using the Gavi platform to introduce the inactivated vaccine because they introduce new vaccines all the time. So they've got that platform, and we've got donors that are donors both to Gavi and to the Global Polio Eradication Initiative to help fund the introduction of the IPV. Thank you. This is another partner that we're partnering with IC